the way this presentation is planned is based on information. I am creating enough ambiguity yeah, so that you start attending. Otherwise, if too much theory creates problems, and if you remove the lights, then it creates more problems. Okay. So there are 4 columns. Each column has 4 words. You have to create sentence so that the first word comes from the first column, second word comes from the second column, third one comes from the third column, and fourth one comes from the fourth column, right? So, but you can make any combination. For instance, you can make young ball twinkle quickly. Okay, they come from 4 different columns, and it creates a word. Right? Now, there are 256 combination of things which are possible. Now, you have to find out the most interesting sentence, that you write it down, the most poetic sentence, the most dramatic sentence, and the most drab sentence. It will take some time. It's more fun and not exam. Seriously, correct. Shall we discuss? Yeah. Chalo. Let's look at the most interesting sentence. Somebody from here, you want to start?
Round buildings sink quickly.
Okay.
Man bounces building star.
Here.
Blue round ball bounces. Blue ball bounces sideways.
Okay. One or two here.
Stone man bounces sideways. Blue man seen twinkles quickly.
Okay.
Stone man seen sideways.
Okay. Let's look at the most drab sentence.
The most drab, right?
Most drab.
Blue building seen sideways.
Blue buildings seen sideways.
Here man learns quickly.
Hmm.
Stone building twinkles sideways.
Huh?
Stone building twinkles sideways.
Okay. Drab.
Young man learns how to bounce the round ball sideways.
Stone man learns quickly.
What is the difference between the two?
I think that the drab is the most expected sentence. Something
Correct.
that is very easily possible.
Possible.
And interesting is something that may not be easily possible.
Unpredictable. Right? There's so high information. Now you can see how things are tying up, that anything that's predictable tends to be somewhat drab. So nobody appreciates the beauty of signals. Yeah? It's too predictable. Yeah? But you would appreciate the beauty of painting because it's unpredictable. Yeah? It's very difficult for grown-ups to sing nursery rhymes, just too predictable. Children can sing it because they are learning, but grown-ups don't sing that. Could see how it matters a lot. Okay, let's look at the most poetic sentence now. All right. Yeah, you want to start?
Young stars twinkles nightly.
Yeah. You haven't done? Okay. Okay, let's look at it this way. How many people have either a star or a twinkle in poetry? So we haven't left our nursery rhymes yet. Yeah, that's what it means. Our idea of poetry is it has to have this too. Okay, star or the twinkle. Okay, and then dramatic sentence also is somewhat very high information rich. Look at it. Maybe we can take one sample. You want to say?
Young building bounces nicely.
Again, somewhat unpredictable, right? But there is a slight difference. In drama, you expect some loud things to happen, mostly, which will not happen otherwise. So the point that I am making is that we are at two opposite ends. What's good for learning happens to be drab, and what's good for creating interest or getting attraction happens to be very unpredictable. Right? Now, this is the tightrope walking that every person in communication has to do, and let's see how people do it. Okay, we'll just go quickly through this. Star, twinkle, they all done that. Dramatic sentences tend to have a crisscross. Impossible things have to happen. Okay. Something that's clearly noticeable. Our idea of something being interesting includes unexpected. Otherwise, it's not. It's closer to being dramatic and poetic. So it is high information, or it has to be information rich. Human response is to interest, and that is why in all award ceremonies the award goes to, and then people keep talking to each other. Remember, what is it? They are just creating that interest, no? Holding on to that uncertainty who the award is. So Shah Rukh Khan and Saif will keep playing pranks till there is enough kind of uncertainty about it, right? So what is the front page news then? Again, some things which are uncertain. You don't know what has happened. Of course, now you tend to know it on the television, so this has changed a little. That is why Western countries people discuss weather. And we, like stupid fellows, we followed it. The weather doesn't change in this country. That's the reason why a lot of news people have dropped at weather, because it's not unpredictable. There's no news in it. Where is the news in weather? In Bombay, it is 37.5 degrees in the morning and 37.75 degrees in the afternoon. That is all. Okay, so it doesn't change. Maybe during rain it is important whether tomorrow it's going to rain or not, but not otherwise. Okay, so in Western it makes sense because there can be sudden differences in the temperature within 2 hours. Okay, that's the reason why suspense is a popular form of entertainment. Okay, it holds on your interest till the end. You don't know who the fellow is. Yeah, and then that is the reason why 2010 is entertaining, because all of them are based on uncertainty, and that's why betting is possible on an event only if events are uncertain. Like lottery ticket 2020 and all. It's possible to do it on cricket match also, but it has to be some kind of uncertainty. But unless 2 of them match in their abilities, betting is very difficult, and that's why odds come in. All right. So results are difficult to predict and uncertain. That is something which is. So for human being, the ideal message is, see, this is the difference between machine and humans. Machines never get bored. No? If you there is a song on one tape recorder and DVD and you want to duplicate it, the other machine never creeps, no? It simply duplicates. But human beings will creep saying, "Ye kya bar bar kar rahe hain?" Yeah? So that to remain actively interested is very important. Yeah? So to attract human attention and to motivate him to process the message is as important as the messages. So all the messages are a combination of devices which are used to create and catch attention and devices which are used to transfer the message. Okay. Devices used for transferring messages tend to be much simpler, so that you can transfer the message, but devices used, and look at advertisement now. You know, there are always these 2 things that they do. Sometimes what they do for interests actually overpowers. You know, and then you don't know what that ad. I mean, you like that ad, but you don't know what they were selling. That happens, you know, was it Coca-Cola or was it Pepsi? So for an ideal message, human beings, when the message information is low, they can process it fast, easy to encode, easy to recall, easy to reconstruct. Redundancy ensures fail-safe communication, but can be drab and dull. Against that, high information, that has a low structure, randomness, etc. High processing time, difficult to recall, reconstruct. That's why poetry takes longer time to read. No, it's the same page, but it takes much longer because it has too much information which is encoded, and you need to try to decode it. It's difficult to recall and reconstruct. That is the reason why nursery rhymes have a rhyme. No? What is rhyme? It makes it simpler for you to remember. Okay. Then idiosyncrasies create distinct. Interesting part about high information is that there are certain idiosyncratic things which happen which you remember. Okay, things like somebody walking up and down and ulta and things like that, which advertising people do. Okay, then remember through these clues, and there is a novelty that leads to curiosity. It also leads to catching eyes, and that's why now you're trying to talk about eyeballs. No, I mean how much of eyeballs they're able to generate and things like that, and it's also interesting. So an ideal message is not too simple, not too structured, so that pursuers don't miss it, but at the same time is not too rich in information, so that people just simply struggle to make meaning out of it. So it has to be a mixture of both of them. So it's a balance of the 2 extremes, and that is exactly what makes communication so interesting and challenging. You know, that you have to continuously keep balancing this. You can look at various kinds of messages. You know, for instance, Annual reports. Anybody ever appreciates annual reports? They're just simply drab and boring, right? You do all kinds of graphical things to create interest, but still people don't read it. I mean, they'll read exactly what the dividend was and बाकी का छोड़ देते. ठीक है? So road signals, financial statements, information website. The worst thing is those forms that come for shares. No, I don't think anybody ever reads anything. They just fill up or ask somebody else to fill up. Okay, against that is classical music, where every time there is a new variation that comes in, you know, and you're looking for that variation. He creates a certain expectation and changes it. If you look at Kumar Gandhu, he'll just take you to some place and suddenly he will change. You know, that's what makes it continuously interesting. That's why it's possible to look at 1 hour concert and 2 hour concerts. Yeah, you cannot hear nursery rhyme for 2 hours. It's difficult to do that because it's too predictable. Even folk music to a extent is too predictable. Of course, content can vary, but tunes are very. Book covers have this kind of very high information. Entertainment websites, arcade games, they have very high information because they maintain uncertainty. So symbols, nursery rhyme, political speeches, textbook, they're all low information, structured so that you can pass information. And computer music, storms, crowd, behavior. Storms are extremely unpredictable. Okay, so these are all unpredictable things. Somewhere in between are advertising, which kind of matches the two. Jingles match the two, games match the two. Yeah? You kind of balance between the two all the time. Okay, I just want to show 2-3 ads. Just look at it from the point of view of information and uncertainty. You can see how at the moment that unpredictability is built. No? You just feel that now what is going to do, they find a solution to it. Yeah? Okay, maybe I can see one more of these. All right, this is what communication is all about. Balancing the two, uncertainty and message. Yeah? And both the ads do it very well. And there's several others which you can see. You know? Fortunately, Indian Standard is very good for ads, they do very well. So finally, to sum up, you are walking on a very tight road. Yeah? It's quite likely that what you create for interest, devices used for interest might just overpower and the message is lost, or the message may overpower and people may not attend. So all the time you have to kind of balance the two to make sure that it's a mix of both.